Hello my friend, this is secondary 1. Welcome to the new stage of secondary 1. Okay, today we will study together about the chemical structure of living organisms' bodies. We will study chemical structure. Okay, at first we studied before that living organisms' bodies consist of systems, and we have 9 systems in the human body, which consist of organs, and each organ consists of tissues, and tissue consists of cells, and inside the cell there is cellular organelles, as we see. So cells of living organism consist of organic molecules and inorganic molecules. So I have inside the cell organic molecules and inorganic molecules. Organic molecules in living organisms are carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins and nucleic acids. Okay, and they are big molecules containing by hydrogen and carbon as basically, and we call them biological macromolecules. Okay, and the inorganic molecules consist of what? And what is its examples? I have water and salts, which may contain carbon or not. So they may have carbon or don't have carbon, but in the organic molecules consist of basically by hydrogen and carbon. Okay, biological macromolecules, they are huge biological molecules composed of smaller molecules called monomers. So monomers plus monomer give you biological macromolecules, also are called polymers. Okay, so the one polymer consists of a lot of monomers. Okay, the monomers band together forming polymers by polymerization process. And focus with me, polymerization process, polymerization process consists of monomers band together forming polymers. Okay, and we have the basic macromolecules, carbohydrates. First one we can study today in chapter 1 for unit 1, carbohydrates. They are biological macromolecules, as we know, which consist of hydrogen and oxygen and carbon. Their general formula CH2O over number, which means they consist of what? Carbon and hydrogen basically. Okay, and it have oxygen 1 to 1 respectively. Okay, the importance of carbohydrates, as we see, we have 3 main importance for carbohydrates. The main and the quickest, again, main and the quickest source of energy. Source of what? Of energy in living organism. Number 1. Number 2, used in what? Storing energy. Storing energy in living organisms till they need it. As plants, as we know, plants store what? Carbohydrates in the form of starch in leaves after photosynthesis process. Whereas animals and the human store them in the form of glycogen in liver and what? And muscles. So we have a plants storing energy as starch. It is the type of carbohydrates in plants, but in animals, yes, that's right, humans store carbohydrates in form of what? Glycogen in liver and muscles. Number 3, the basic component of some parts of the cell, such as cellulose in the cell walls of plant cells, and protoplasm and the cellular membranes. That's right, the basic component of some parts of cell, such as cellulose in the cell walls of plant cell, like protoplasm and cellular membrane. Carbohydrates, The molecular structure of carbohydrates are divided according to their structure into simple sugars and complex sugars. So we have two main types of carbohydrates, simple sugars and complex sugars, which name it's polysaccharide. Okay, the common properties of simple sugars, they are soluble in water and they have small molecular weights and they have sweet tastes. So common properties, we have three. The simple sugars can soluble in water and they have small molecular weights. Number three, they have sweet tastes. Sweet tastes. Type. Simple sugars, like what, mister? We have two main types, monosaccharide and disaccharide. In monosaccharide, it consists of only one molecule, but this disaccharides consist of two molecules. Monosaccharide consists of only one molecule, such as glucose, galactose, and fructose, and ribose. Okay, this is the example of monosaccharide. But in the disaccharide, such as saccharose, lactose, and maltose, as we know, disaccharide consists of two molecules. Let's see. Saccharose consists of what? Glucose plus fructose, and we can take it from the sugar cane. But in lactose, in milk sugar consists of what? Two monosaccharide, glucose and galactose. Okay, in the maltose, we can find it in malt sugar. It consists of two glucose molecules. يبقى again one. Saccharose, glucose plus fructose. Lactose, glucose plus galactose. Maltose consists of two glucose type. Okay, this is the photo for the simple sugar glucose, as we see. And if I give you two molecules of glucose, give you maltose, and it consists between each other by glycosidic linkage, as we see. Glucose plus glucose give you maltose, it is disaccharide. In monosaccharides rule in energy transfer process inside living organism release the energy stored in monosaccharides, such as glucose, as the following. 1, 2, 3. Number one, glucose oxidized inside mitochondria in the cells. As we see, the mitochondria, it is the source of the energy and the machine, the factory of energy inside the cell. So we have the chemical bonds are stored in compounds called adenosine triphosphate, which its symbol ATP. It is the coin of energy in all the body, especially from the mitochondria. ATP transports to other parts of cell using its stored energy in all biological process in the cell. So the ATP transport to other parts of the cell using its stored energy. Okay. Complex sugars, its name polysaccharides. Common properties of complex sugars, we have three main. Insoluble in water. We can't soluble the water in complex sugar, so it is insoluble in water. Number two, they have heavy molecular weights. Heavy what? Molecular weights. Number three, they don't have any taste. Like what, mister? Example, we have the cellulose and starch and the glycogen. The polymers of each one of the previous complex sugar consist of what? Glucose molecules bond together. After that, how to detect simple sugars in the food? We can detect simple sugars in the food by using Bendact reagent. What is the meaning of Bendact reagent? Bendact reagent, it is the indicator which can detect the simple sugar in any food. Simple sugar, it change its color from blue to orange. The Bendact reagent, it change its color from blue to orange. So I know firmly in this is a simple sugar in this food. But how to detect starch in substance? It is not simple, it's complex sugar. so the starch changes the color of iodine solution to blue. Okay, thank you for your listening and see you later in the next session. Thanks.